It's a huge welcome to Sharps in Isolation this evening with 3 anniversaries. One, the anniversary of the actual national lockdown in the UK. Not something to particularly celebrate. Something to celebrate more is the fact that it's also the anniversary of Sharps in Isolation. We've been going for a year, believe it or not, and it speaks for itself. But hopefully we won't be doing this for another year.
Amanda, can you co-host me?
I will co-host you, Livy. I just spotted you there as you waved. I will do that in a second. And it is also the anniversary of John White's it's 1 years and a day since John White was born. So a huge happy birthday to John, and we're going to be hearing a few songs from him later on this evening, just before the interval, I think. So really looking forward to that, and lots of other songs and things from everybody else as well. So let us start. Our first singers this evening are going to be Jeanne and Phil, and after Jeanne and Phil, could we have a song please from Steve Andisaw? Over to you, Jeanne and Phil.
Before they start, shall I ask John White if he wants to be unmuted for the session? So he can talk to us.
That's a good idea, yeah. Well, you'll have to unmute him to hear what he says.
Then you have to co-host me before I can do that.
That should be you.
Right. Okay, John, you're unmuted now. As long as you don't sing and dance behind everybody else, everybody can hear you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, Amanda.
Are we okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Right. A couple of weeks ago, our song mentioned Croydon Frisk. The Croydon Frisk was a folk dance tune going back to 1770. Well, it's published in 1770, so it's probably older than that. But it was just a tune. It didn't have any words. So I've set some words to it, which are drawn from the lavender farming industry, which flourished in this area 150 years ago, south of the Thames, right the way down to Carshalton and Mitcham. And happily, it's been revived recently alongside Oaks Park in Banstead. It's called Perfume of the Ages.
Perfume of the ages, found in holy pages, temple harp of Solomon, beloved of the Greeks, sacred to the Romans, looking for good omens, lavender, the flower that gives the healing that they seek. Sing to greet the springtime, wearing of the ringtime, fields of purple lavender from Croydon to the Thames. Youthful girls entrancing, sets their feet a dancing, sweeping through the meadow, catching perfume on their hands. By 1889, our English furs were finer, Jackson's farming Mitcham winning medals by the score. Profit for the bosses, workers for the losses, at 15 bob a week they were the charitable poor. Sing to greet the springtime, wearing of the ringtime, fields of purple lavender from Croydon to the Thames. Youthful girls entrancing, sets their feet a dancing, sweeping through the meadow, catching perfume on their hands. Now the fields returning, ancient skills relearning, endless sea of bobbing heads made restless by the wind. Farmers finding new ways, memories of the old days, lavender and dancing by the Croydon Frisk entwined. Sing to greet the springtime, wearing of the ringtime, fields of purple lavender from Croydon to the Thames. Youthful girls entrancing, sets their feet a dancing, sweeping through the meadow, catching perfume on their hand. Sing to greener springtime, wearing of the ringtime, fields of purple lavender from Croydon to the Thames. Youthful girls entrancing, sets their feet a dancing, sweeping through the meadow, catching perfume on their hands.
What a great song.
Thank you, Jeanne and Phil. A cheerful start to the evening, and now something from Steve Andisaw. Who knows what Steve will bring? After Steve, something from David Kidman, please.
Right, well, tonight I'm going to do you a Morris dance, but I've written words to it, so it's sort of a tune, really. It's sort of a song, really. It's Vandals of Hammerwich. Way back in the past when we were just a load of primates and the dinosaurs were dying 'cause they didn't like the climate, when our ancestors spent all day just swinging by their tails, and the world and everything was new and so was Jones's ale. 'Twas then the first folk singer put his finger to his ear. He sang a song that he thought other apes would like to hear. The other apes all aped him, and so at one single stroke a new art form was invented that came to be known as folk. When Dick Turpin or Robin Hood had some adventure, he would write a song about it that we sing for centuries. The songs about Napoleon and all those men killed, you could hardly hear the cannons for the scratching of the quills. The songs about the devil and how he does his best to harm us, and he always ends up being conned by simple rustic farmers. The songs that sound just like a Mrs. Beaton's recipe, with parsley and sage all the time and bags of rosemary. Last century brought inventions that caused a lot of changes, and this century inventions have made living so much stranger. I've missed something out. All through our troubled history, mankind has been aware that problems put into a song soon become problems shared. So if you're sad or lonely or unhappy, it is best to write a song about it, then we all can get depressed. But what has happened to the art of ballading today? Where are those songs of fair damsels you always met in May? We don't write songs of seduction like in the days of old. All we do is flog our sex stories to the news of the world, or we did anyway. Last century brought inventions that caused a lot of changes, and this century inventions have made living so much stranger. There's television and radio to spread the news about, and nobody now needs folk songs, so they started dying out. So dear old Cecil Sharp, he went roving o'er the land, collecting folk songs on his bike with phonograph in hand. He chatted up old folks asking if they knew anything about the old folk songs their granddad's granddad used to sing. So now in this computerized and electronic age, you can find all the old folk songs upon the printed page. Every ballad ever composed throughout all history is contained upon the shelves of the Vaughan Williams Library. They're part of Britain's heritage, they're folk songs good and proper, as were sung by men with hearts of oak and families made of copper. So please don't let the music die, support your local club, or else folk singers like me, we would all be out of a job. Ta.
Okay, and very break. I've got a little bit of game.
Hopefully you won't be out of a job as a folk singer for some time, Steve. Thank you. Okay, it's over to David Kidman now, and then something from Gwyneth Try, please.
Right, yeah, we're all unmuted. No, we're not. We're muted. Right. Impossible job to follow, Steve, particularly something as fabulous as that.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to do this one for John.
Oh, thank you.
He don't know what it is yet, so you can't say thank you. Seriously, it's one of the old parlour ballads. I'm not sure whether it actually was used in the music hall, but it dates back to sort of 1860, 1880, somewhere around there. I got it from the singing of George Spicer, so fingers crossed. The preacher at the village church one Sunday morning said, "Our organist is ill today, will someone play instead?" An anxious look came o'er the face of every person there, as eagerly they watched to see who'd fill the vacant chair. An old man stumbled up the aisle, his clothes were worn and torn. How strange a drunkard seemed to be in church on Sunday morn. But as he touched those organ keys, without a single word, the melody that followed was the sweetest ever heard. The scene was one I'll ne'er forget, as long as I may live. And just to see it o'er again, all earthly wealth I'd give. A congregation all amazed, a preacher old and grey, the organ and the organist who volunteered to play. Each eye shed tears within that church, the strongest men grew pale. The organist in the melody had told his own life's tale, and the sermon of the preacher was no lesson to compare with that of life's example, who sat in the organ chair. And when the service reached its close, not a soul had left his seat, except the poor old organist, who started for the street. Down the aisle and through the door he slowly made his way. The preacher rose and softly said, "Kind brethren, let us pray." The scene was one I'll ne'er forget, as long as I may live. And just to see it o'er again, all earthly wealth I'd give. A congregation all amazed, a preacher old and grey, the organ and the organist who'd volunteered to play.
Ah,
Great stuff.
Great stuff, David.
thank you.
Happy birthday, John.
I haven't heard that for ages.
That was my old man's favourite song. Thank you, John. David, I mean, sorry.
Thank you, David. Nothing like a bit of what schmaltz, is it? I'm not sure. Whatever that was. Okay, something from Gwyneth now, and also after Gwyneth, it will be time for John Pole, please. And also, did you know you can wear a little party hat on Zoom if you look under the video filters? So you might want to do that.
Right. This is a song from the Appalachian Mountains. Some people think it's more of a children's song and it could be done as a circle game. Sir Roger. Sir Roger is dead and he lies in his grave, lies in his grave, lies in his grave. Sir Roger is dead and he lies in his grave, ta-rora-lora-lay. There grew an apple tree over his head, over his head, over his head. There grew an apple tree over his head, ta-rora-lora-lay. The apples grew ripe and they all fell down, all fell down, all fell down. The apples grew ripe and they all fell down, ta-rora-lora-lay. There came an old woman a-picking them up, picking them up, picking them up. There came an old woman a-picking them up, ta-rora-lora-lay. Old Roger jumps up and he gives her a clout, gives her a clout, gives her a clout. The old Roger jumps up and he gives her a clout, ta-rora-lora-lay. He makes the old woman to kick and to shout, kick and to shout, kick and to shout. He makes the old woman to kick and to shout, ta-rora-lora-lay. Thank you.
How do we get one ring? Closer.
Thank you, Gwyneth. Okay, it is time for John Pole now, and then something from James Eagle.
This is a song specially for John White. It's a music hall song which I learnt in Catford, South London, when I was about 12. Same age as me. He must have learnt it from his dad or granddad, but I learnt it about 70 years ago. And I've just read a thing on the net about an eminent surgeon who was once editor of the BMJ, who says that he has now sung it around the world to various medical conferences. I don't think there's much medical interest, but it is a London song.
Ah.
And it is sometimes called the Winkle song and sometimes picking all the big ones out. A last Saturday afternoon for tea, I fancied a luxury. I went down to old Mother Finkle's, bought myself a penn'orth of Winkles, put them on the shelf, as happy as can be, for my old woman and her 7 kids and all the family. Ho! Picking all the big ones out. Picking all the big ones out. Ever seen a fish face covered in wrinkles? When I see my penn'orth of Winkles, all the big ones gone, it made me rave and shout, 'cause my old woman and her 7 kids was a-picking all the big ones out. Picking all the big ones.
Lovely.
Birthday, John.
Well. Short but sweet.
It's a song of Phil and Jeanne thing, who opened the meeting.
Treat me with great respect, never say.
Lovely stuff, John. Thank you. Okay, James, it's over to you, and then something from Severn Savage.
Righto, I'm going to do a sea shanty in tribute to John White and the day of his birth, and it's a tribute to the day of his birth because this song is called A Long Time Ago. Oh, way down south where I was born, to me way, hey, hey, we pick the cotton and hoe the corn a long time ago. I'm going away to Mobile Bay, to me way, hey, hey, where they screw cotton the whole of the day, a long time ago. In the Black Ball line I served me time, to me way, hey, hey, well, that's the line I wasted me prime a long time ago. Our pumps is jammed and our foresails tore, to me way, hey, hey, we've drunk our rum and we can't get more a long time ago. We'll rock them blocks and make 'em fly, to me way, hey, hey, them topmast sheets is nearly dry a long time ago. I thought I heard the old man say, to me way, hey, hey, just one more pull and then belay a long time ago. A long, long time and a very long time, to me way, hey, hey, a long, long time and a very long time, a long time ago.
And that's lovely songs.
That seemed remarkably short for a shanty. Thanks for that, James. Okay, it's over to Severn now, and then Steve Suffet. Can't hear you there, Severn. Can you unmute? Still can't hear you, Severn. Oh. Now we can't see you or hear you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, this is okay. I will. Okay, I'll try this one. My mouth keeps drying out. Medicines I take. Okay. Got a little house by the waterfront. I open every spring. I cater to the tourist crowd. Christ, they'll buy up anything. In the bar next door, there's a string band, plays those old Nantucket songs. Put a grown man right to sleep. Christ, they're all 99 verses long. When I was young, I went to sea. When I was young, fishing was life for me. Now, from the back door of the bar next door, I can look out on the bay and see the trawlers coming in. I watch from my son's boat that way. And as one by one they tie up the same stories always told. Between the quotas and the foreign fleets, there's no way to fill the hold. When I was young, I went to sea. When I was young, fishing was the life for me. Well, I was 39 years old when I quit my life at sea. And that was the only thing my wife ever asked of me. Back then, the North Atlantic could give a man a decent wage. I try and tell my son that, but you can't talk to those his age. When I was young, I went to sea. When I was young, fishing was the life for me. Now I have a little shop on the waterfront, keeps me in smokes and gin. I keep a place in the business open for when my son wants to come on in. When I was young, I went to sea. When I was young, fishing was the life for me. When I was young, I went to sea. When I was young, fishing was the life for me. The title doesn't appear in the song. The title of the song is He Drinks Alone. But it's by Bill Morris. Thank you.
Nice one, Severn.
Thank you. And speaking of song titles, could everybody please remember to put the title of their song in the chat for everyone to see and for David to do the list of songs? Thank you. Okay, Steve, it's over to you. And after Steve, let's have something from Tim Radford.
Okay, this is a song that I've never done in public before, but I'll try it. There are 3 or 4 different tunes to it. I just picked one at random. And I know that it's older than John White because it's from slavery times. So it... roll, Jordon, roll. It's roll, Jordon, roll. My soul's gonna rise up to heaven so high when I hear that Jordon River roll. Try that with me, but mute yourself when you do it. It's roll, Jordon, roll. It's roll, Jordon, roll. My soul's gonna rise up to heaven so high when I hear that Jordon River roll. Went down to that river Jordan, where John he baptized 3. I said to the devil, you go back to hell, 'cause John he baptized me. Ready? And it's roll, Jordon, roll. It roll, Jordon, roll. My soul's gonna rise up to heaven so high when I hear that Jordon River roll. Now some say John was a Baptist, and some say John was a Jew. But I says John was a preacher man, and the Bible it says so too. So it's roll, Jordon, roll. It's roll, Jordon, roll. My soul's gonna rise to heaven so high when I hear that Jordon River roll. Now John said heaven's a-comin'. Now John, he says it to me. You go and find that river, Jordan. When you cross it, you're gonna be free. And it's roll, Jordan, roll. It's roll, Jordan, roll. My soul's gonna rise to heaven on high when I hear that Jordan River roll. One more time and that's it. Roll, Jordan, roll. It's roll, Jordan, roll. My soul's gonna rise to heaven on high when I hear that Jordan River roll. Roll, Jordan, roll. Traditional African American.
All right, cheers.
Right stuff.
Done.
Fabulous.
Great to have a chorus and lots of lovely harmonies going on there, I'm sure. Pity we can't hear them. Anyway, thanks for that, Steve. And over to Tim Radford, followed by Hazel Richings, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I've been searching for about 4 or 5 days to find
a song to tip my hat to John on his longevity. One of them was stolen already by James today, so it's going to have to be this one instead, before Mr. Walser jumps in and sings this one. Anyway. 100 years has passed and gone, oh yes, oh, 'tis 100 years since I sang this song, 100 years ago, 100 years on the eastern shore, oh yes, oh, 100 years on the western shore, 100 years ago. Oh, when I sailed across the sea, oh yes, oh, my girl said she'd be true to me 100 years ago. I promised her a golden ring, oh yes, oh, she promised me that little thing 100 years ago. They used to think that pigs could fly, oh yes, oh, can you believe that damn bad lie 100 years ago? They thought the stars were set alight, oh yes, oh, by a bunch of angels every night 100 years ago. They thought the moon was made of cheese, oh yes, oh, you can believe them if you please 100 years ago. Oh, Bully John was the boy for me, oh yes, oh, a bucko on land and a bully at sea 100 years ago. It's up aloft this yard must go, oh yes, oh, for Mr. Mate has told me so 100 years ago. I thought I heard the skipper say, oh yes, oh, just one more pull and then belay 100 years ago. Belay!
Oh, shanty.
Rousing stuff, thanks Tim. Okay, something now from Hazel and then Bob Walser, please.
Thank you. I wish I could actually let you hear the harp player who is making beautiful sounds behind me through the fireplace, but I can't. So yes, she's. So I shall just do something that is. It's nothing. I'm afraid it's not specific to John, but I tell you what, I enjoyed my birthday yesterday, and I hope you enjoyed yours too. So this is "Never Be the Sun." You'll never be the sun burning in the sky, and you won't be the moon above us on a moonlit night, and you won't be the stars in heaven, although they burn so bright. But even on the deepest ocean, you will be the light. You may not always shine as you go barefoot over stones, and you might be so long together, or you might walk alone. And you may find that love comes easy, or that love is always right. But even when the dark clouds gather, you will be the light. And if you lose a part inside, where love turns round on you, leaving the past behind, knowing you'll do like you always do, holding you blind, keeping you true. You'll never be the sun burning in the sky, and you won't be the moon above us on a moonlit night, and you won't be the stars in heaven, although they burn so bright, or even on the deepest ocean, you will be the light. You will be the light. You will be the light. Happy birthday.
Lovely song. Well done.
Love you, Hazel.
Marvelous breath control.
Thank you.
Lovely stuff, Hazel. Thank you. Okay, and nice hats. I see some real hats are coming out now, putting those of us with tiny little pizza slices on our heads to shame. Okay, it's Bob Walser next, and then something from Caroline.
Oh, thank you. Well, since Tim and James stole the shanties that were the obvious choices for this occasion, I'll do something else. This is a Menhaden net hauling song, and for your collective pleasure, I've asked the Johnson girls to come and join me on this song. And you can join them too on the chorus, which is simply "Walk around, honey, walk around." Them Johnson girls is a mighty fine girls. Walk around, honey, walk around. Then if we were at sea, we'd haul on the nets and shout at each other, encouraging people to pull. Them Johnson girls is a mighty fine girls. Walk around, honey, walk around. We'd shout more encouragement at each other. That's how that was actually what this sounded like on the field recording. But this is a club, not a field recording, so we'll just sing the song. Having eaten the waist and got mighty fine legs. Walk around, honey, walk around. Oh, well, then eating the waist and got mighty fine legs. Walk around, honey, walk around. Well, they got great big legs and a teeny eensy feet. Walk around, honey, walk around. Well, they got great big legs and a teeny eensy feet. Walk around, honey, walk around. Well, it's a beefsteak, and beefsteak make a little gravy. Walk around, honey, walk around. Well, it's your thing and my thing, make a little baby. Walk around, honey, walk around. You know them Johnson girls, well, they sing so sweet. Walk around, honey, walk around. They got harmony and rhythm from their head to their feet. Walk around, honey, walk around. Now here's a toast to our mate John White. Walk around, honey, walk around. thanks for all the good times. We wish you well tonight.
Walk around, honey, walk
around. Oh, well, them Johnson girls is a mighty fine girls.
Walk around, honey, walk around.
Oh, well, them Johnson girls is a mighty fine girls.
Walk around, honey, walk around. Walk around, honey, walk around.
All the best to you, John. Thanks a lot.
Bob, as you've made me recall, that's my favourite song of yours. So it's great to hear it again. Good to have you with us as well, Bob.
My pleasure. Thank
Amazing.
you, John.
Lovely stuff. And I have to say, this club is getting more surreal by the minute. What with the hats, the Johnson girls, and Steve Andisaw dancing with his fingers with little shoes on. We're barely half an hour in. Who knows how things will go for the rest of the evening. Anyway, it is Caroline next, and then Rebecca and Rupert, please.
So I get to follow that. Okay. All right. This has been kind of on my mind as a thing to learn for a while. Just because I think in the last year I've done more singing than I have in many, many years, and that's been one of the things that's been keeping me going through everything that's been going on. So let's have a go at this. My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, the far-off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear its music ringing, it sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? Although the tempest loudly roars, I hear the truth it liveth. And though the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love is Lord of heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble sick with fear, and hear the death knell ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? In prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging, when friends by shame are undefiled. How can I keep from singing? My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, the far-off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear its music ringing, it sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? Happy birthday, John. Happy birthday, Sharp.
Beautifully sung.
Good song, thank you.
A great song for the occasion, and particularly in memory of how singing has kept us going over the last year. Thanks, Caroline. Okay, it's over now to Bex and Rupert, possibly together, possibly in sequence. I don't know. It's up to them. And after them, we'll have another wolf, Clive Wolf.
Hi, yes, we thought we'd join you tonight because we were here at the first one a year ago. We're going to do a song called Gentle Belly Down, which is a traditional song that Rupert found in a book, and he put the music to it. It's a song about seemingly an unwanted pregnancy. With all the heart in my body now, gentle belly down. She was so afraid with putting on her gown. Her belly was so great, her gown it would not fit. With sorrow did she sweat and sank down, belly down. This game doth all amiss, I loved so well to kiss. I thought it joy and bliss to dance in every town. But alas and well away that ever I used such play, and now with sorrow may I say, down belly down. Every morning early my stomach is so queasy, it hurteth me full grievously, with sickness am I bound. God and the Blessed Lady, and also good King Henry, bring to me some remedy to keep my belly down, down, down.
That was
Great stuff.
Oh, you got the barrier out.
Lovely stuff, Rupert and Bex. You should come more often. Please do. Okay, so that was one of the singers, well, the main singer there was Bex Wolf, and we now have Clive Wolf to follow her, and then something from Graham Baldwin, please.
And talking of John White, whoever you are, has a version of this. I once did know a farmer. He's a good and kindly old soul. I used to work upon his farm and round by his country home. He had one only daughter, and to win her I did try. And when I asked him for her, the old man did reply, oh, treat me daughter kindly, say you're doing no harm. And when I die, I'll leave to you me tiny little farm. Me horse, me plough, me sheep, me cow, me ox, me owe and me barn, and all the little chickens in the garden. Now I loved this young girl dearly, and I know that she loved me. And many's the time I'd go around for a smiling face to see, to watch her milk the brittle cow, and see it doesn't no harm. And many's the cup of love I drunk before I left the farm. So treat me daughter kindly, say you're doing no harm. And when I die, I'll leave to you me tiny little farm. Me horse, me plough, me sheep, me cow, me ox, me owe and me barn, and all the little chickens in the garden. Now the old man, he has given consent, married we will be. We'll lead a life of happiness in our own little country. I'll try to keep the promise that the old man asked of me. My own little girl, I'll use her well and treat her kindly. So treat me daughter kindly, say you're doing no harm. And when I die, I'll leave to you me tiny little farm. Me horse, me plough, me sheep, me cow, me ox, me owe and me barn, and all the little chicks in the garden. You.
Remind us where that was collected.
In the 60s.
Yeah, but
the 1960s.
Yeah, but didn't you know where somewhere in East Anglia was it?
No, it was here. I believe it was collected in Yorkshire, but don't ask me why or where or when or even who.
Okay, we won't ask you why or where or who, Clive, but it's always a favourite, I think, that one. Okay, it is time now for something from Graham Baldwin and then Liz Phillipson.
Well, hello everybody, and John, many congratulations on reaching 101 years of age. I really hope I can make it that far and look as good as you if I do. So I'm rather surprised that nobody's mentioned the fact that we're now into spring. It's been spring since last Saturday, so I'm going to do a spring song for you. A traditional English spring song from Sussex. I'm sure many of you will know this. It was first recorded by George Townsend, who learned it from his father in 1888, and it was famously recorded by the Copper family as well. This is my version. When spring comes in and the birds do sing, the lambs do skip and the bells do ring, while we enjoy their glorious charms, so noble and so gay, and the primrose bloom and the cowslip too, the violets in their sweet retire, the roses shining through the briar, and the daffodils which we admire will die and fade away. Young men and maidens will be seen on mountains high and meadows green. They'll talk of love and sport and play, while these young lambs do skip away. At night they homeward wend their way, when evening stars appear, and the primrose bloom and the cowslip too, The violets in their sweet retire, the roses shining through the briar, and the daffodils which we admire will die and fade away, and the dairy maid to milking goes, her blooming cheeks as red as a rose. She carries her pail all on her arm, so cheerful and so gay. She milks, she sings, and the valleys ring. The small birds on the branches there sit listening to this lovely fair. She is her master's trust and care. She is the pleasant joy of the primrose blue, and the cowslip too. The violets in their sweet retire, the roses shining through the briar, and the daffodils which we admire will die and fade away. Thank you.
If it was like normal times, maybe I would be like, maybe.
Thanks very much, Graham. We're really looking forward to seeing some of these flowers. We've got violets at the moment, but not much else. Okay, it's over to Liz now, and then over to Martin Nail after Liz.
Hello. I might have my party hat on, but I'm going to sing something miserable, I'm afraid. It's not traditional. It's from the Northeast Revival. How son, what Geordie, come cuddle up close. The bairns I'll miss you, but I'll miss you most. How son, what Geordie, come cuddle up tight. I'll put me arms round you and kiss you good night. Aye, Geordie, do you mind the day we were wed? The ale that was supped and the tears that were shed. Me own bonny pit lad, so strong and so young, afore all that coal dust clogged up your lungs. How son, what Geordie, come cuddle up close. The bairns I'll miss you, but I'll miss you most. How son, what Geordie, come cuddle up tight. I'll put me arms round you and kiss you good night. Why, Geordie, said Martha, as she held his frail frame, how many poor lads will that doughty pit claim? How many more pitmen digging for coal? I'll have to pay with their bodies, or they'll pay with their soul. How son, what Geordie, come cuddle up close. The bairns I'll miss you, but I'll miss you most. How son, what Geordie, come cuddle up tight. I'll put me arms round you and kiss you good night. Aye, Geordie, thought Martha, as she gave a sigh, she was holding back tears as the welled in her eye. She thought of the good times and how they had fled, as the moon cast long shadows on that doughty pit head. So why must a man work down that black hole? Why must he breathe lungs full of dust from the coal? So shovel your coal on, but take time to pray for the man that works where there's nae night or day. I and think about Martha, and her little bairns. Think about Geordie, how he met his end. Think about Hartley, the miners that died, and tell me, do you still like your flickering fireside? How son, whoa Geordie, come cuddle up close. The bairns'll all miss you, but I'll miss you most. How son, whoa Geordie, come cuddle up tight. I'll put me arms round you and kiss you good night. Now Martha held Geordie close to her breast, as Geordie he struggled for his final breath. Geordie passed on, she held him tight, and for the very last time Martha kissed him good night. Billy Fane.
Thanks, Liz. Well, that certainly got us into the party spirit. Okay, it is now time for Martin Nail and then Tara, please.
Right, for John's birthday, how could I not sing a musical song? This one is slightly older than John, having been written in 1911, and was written by Fred W. Lee and made famous on the halls by George Bastow. I never thought much about females till a couple of months ago. I noticed one of them noticing me. My mother told me so. This damsel's name is Mary Ann. She winked at me one day. I told mother and mother told me in a motherly sort of way. Mary Ann, she's after me, full of love she seems to be, and my mother says that it's plain to see she wants me for a young man. Father says, if that be true, John, me lad, be thankful do that there's one bigger fool in the world than you, and that's Mary Ann. Whenever I see her, she's looking at me. I don't know what to do. I tried not looking at her looking at me. My mother told me to. Last Sunday morning, coming from church, she said, I'll walk your way. I kept on walking, I never said nout. Da narrow escape that day, for Mary Ann, she's after me, full of love she seems to be, and my mother says that it's plain to see she wants me for a young man. Father says, if that be true, John, me lad, be thankful do that there's one bigger fool in the world than you, and that's Mary Ann. There's many a jolly young chap like me as might be glad to know what dangerous animals some girls are. My mother told me so. We walks about like innocent lambs. We does no harm, I'm sure. Then along comes something in frocks and curls, and there's never no peace no more. For Mary Ann, she's after me, full of love she seems to be, and my mother says that it's plain to see she wants me for a young man. Father says, if that be true, John, me lad, be thankful do that there's one bigger fool in the world than you, and that's
Mary Ann.
Much.
I love music hall. Thanks for that, Martin. And it is now over to Tara, and then very shortly, I'm going to introduce John after Tara, and then we're going to have some songs from John White. So, Tara, over to you for now.
Hi. Well, as I already sung one for John, tonight I'm going to dedicate this one to Jeanne, who's not here, obviously, for the reasons will become apparent later. But it's a song that was made famous by Winona Judd. I've messed around with it a little, as I always do, and so here goes. When I reach the place I'm going, I will surely know my way, and I will turn and look inside me and bid farewell to one more day. And I will fly beyond this valley, and I will open up the gate. And when I reach the place I'm going, I will surely know my way. Every light begins with darkness, and every flower is once a seed. And with the sun and wind to test us, we are bound to be released. And I was born without a whisper, I was born beneath the rain. But when I reach the place I'm going, I will surely know my way. We have hands to hold our sorrow, we have tears to heal the pain. And I know you've many questions, but when time comes, you'll know your way. Yes, you will surely know your way.
Hey, Tara.
Lovely, Tara. Great to hear that. So, the time is almost here for John to sing for us for this very, very, very special occasion. But I wanted to introduce him to you in a special way, and I was really pleased to be invited to John's birthday, his actual birthday party yesterday afternoon, during which time I sang the world premiere of this song. But I've added to it a bit, John, since yesterday. It's you might recognise it if you know the musical South Pacific. I have somewhat altered the words. John, I think you might be trying to say something, but you're on mute. Hang on.
Well, yeah.
There you are. Can hear you now.
I just want to tell you, my lovely lodger, Azila, was unable to get me online tonight, and somebody else did it. And while all the pictures are coming through, I'm getting a lot of feedback from talkback from the instructions that people have joined the meeting, left the meeting, getting muted, and I just wonder if there's anything you can do from your end. But just to warn people, you might just hear someone has joined the meeting in the middle of my singing.
Oh, I don't know why you're guessing that, but thank you for the warning. Thank you for the warning.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to introduce John to you now. Our friend is as sprightly as a sparrow. His memory is something to applaud. When he treads the boards, he truly has no marrow, and his repertoire's broad, where a repertoire should be broad. 101 years of joy, that's our dearest birthday boy. Get a load of birthday boy John White. I'm speaking of my sweetie pie. Got a twinkle in his eye. All the ladies think he's dynamite. His songs are long and plenteous. Did I forget to Mentius? At music hall, he knows them all, and the whole of Patrick Spensius. 101 years of fun. Doesn't look a year over 81. Get a load of birthday boy John White. I'm speaking of my sweetie pie, making all the ladies sigh. He's going to sing for you, and he'll be dynamite.
Hey.
Usual.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Bravo. More.
Yeah, that's right. Right. I hope everybody can hear me okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Can I just explain something, folks? I'm not sure whether it came through just now, but somebody else had to put me online this evening, and they didn't mute the talkback that comes from the people running the program. So I keep getting somebody has joined the meeting or left the meeting and so on. So I hope it doesn't interrupt what I'm going to do. Yeah. Anyway, first thing, thank you everybody for all the many and varied comments and songs that we just heard. And now my screen has now disappeared. And I hope I'm still coming through.
We can still hear you, John.
Yeah, that's fine, okay. Yeah, my screen is just switching from one thing to another. Yeah, I don't know whether you heard that, but there's somebody cut in to say that someone's left the meeting. So, and my friend Zena says we can't clear it until it's at the interval when we close if I can close the program and open up again. Anyway, I'll keep going and let me know if something goes wrong. I was just saying thank you for all the lovely comments and jokes and songs this evening. And thank you also, Sharp's friends, for the lovely flowers, which I hope you might be able to see on the table behind me. And also for the lovely card. So I thought we'd keep it light-hearted this evening. And I'm going to do, first of all, probably the most famous song of the music hall, which is If It Wasn't for the Hours in Between. We've got a very large and very varied audience this evening. All the Londoners and Sharpers know this song very well, but if you don't know it, it's rather unusual. It used to be sung by it used to be sung by a remarkable performer called Gus Elin, and all his songs were very ironic. And this one is because it's sung by a family who are evidently got a greengrocer's business, and in their backyard they've got all the turnips, hops, and cabbages, etc. But they have ideas of making it even better, and getting the, as they call it, the knobby distant views. So here it is for everyone. Houses in Between. If you saw our little backyard, what a lovely place you'd cry. It's a picture on a sunny summer's day. With the turnip tops and cabbages, what people doesn't buy, well, I makes it on a Sunday look all gay. Now the neighbours thinks I grows 'em, and you'd fancy you're in Kent, or at Epsom as you gazes down the Mews. It's a wonder as the landlord doesn't want to raise our rent, because we've got such nobby distant views. Now it really is a very pretty garden, and Chingford to the eastward could be seen. With a ladder and some glasses, you could see to Hackney Marshes, if it wasn't for the houses in between. Now we're as countrified as can be, with a clothes prop for a tree, and a tub stall makes a rustic little style. Every time the blooming clock strikes, there's a cuckoo sings to me, and I've painted up to Leverley 1 mile. And with tomatoes and with cabbages, well, isn't any sale. That backyard makes a perfect mass of bloom, and we're going to make a beehive with some beetles in a pail, and with the handle of a broom. Oh, it really is a very pretty garden. And Hendon to the northwards could be seen, and by clinging to the chimbley, you could see across to Wembley, if it wasn't for the houses in between. Now we've a bunny who shares his egg box with a cross-eyed cock and hen, though they has got the pip and him a cough. In the dog's house on the line post we had pigeons, 9 or 10, till someone took a brick and knocked them off. And the dust cart, though it seldom comes, is just like harvest home, and we means to rig a dairy up somehow. Put the donkey in the wash house with some imitation horns, 'cause we're teaching him to moo, just like a cow. Oh, it really is a very pretty garden, and Croydon to the southwards could be seen. And by clinging to the trellis, you could see their Crystal Palace, if it wasn't for the houses in between. Now, though those gasworks isn't violence, they improves the rural scene, 'cause for mountains they would very nicely pass, with the mushrooms in the dust hole and the cowcumbers so green. Well, it only needs a bit of hothouse glass. Now I wears this milkman's nightshirt, and I sits outside all day, like that ploughboy cove what mizzled o'er the lea. And when I goes indoors at night, they don't know what I say, 'cause my language gets as yokel as can be. Oh, it really is a very pretty garden. And Hendon to the northwards could be seen, and by clinging to the chimbley, you could see across to Wembley, if it wasn't for the houses in between. Oh, in between. Houses in between.
Fantastic.
When talking of amusing songs, sadly, we're no longer hearing from the Kipper family, because they're not touring anymore. But for folk who, especially friends from other countries who don't know, they were a duo who wrote very witty, clever parodies of all our tradition, of a number of our traditional songs. For instance, they took that wonderful song of the McPeaks from Northern Ireland, The Wild Mountain Time, and they turned it into a song for the annual orgy in their village, which was called The Wild Mounting Time. And having taken the mickey out of the traditional songs, they turned to the music hall, and they did this parody of If It Wasn't for the Houses in Between. I got married yesterday to Miss Christina Gadd, a virgin fair. At least that's what I reckoned. Though later she told me that I'm not the first she's had. And truth to tell, well, neither was I second. For she's been married 7 times, and each time she's been true. So when I heard those wedding chimes and claimed my bride, I knew that my lovely darling Christine would have been entirely pristine if it wasn't for the spouses in between. Yes, my lovely darling Christine would have been entirely pristine if it wasn't for those spouses in between. Now, just the other day, I had to go up north to visit some poor relatives up there. Though normally I avoid the area, of course, for I find their funny accents hard to bear. But once you get to know them, they're really not that bad. With someone posh to help them, some improvement could be had. Yes, from Chester up to Lytham, you might do something with them. If it wasn't for the Scousers in between. Yes, from Chester up to Lytham, you might do something with them. If it wasn't for those Scousers in between. Now, you have to watch your figure if you want to cut a dash. And I'm a real dash cutter, you can tell. Yes, you have to watch your waistline if you want to cut a dash. Well, a swell just can't afford to swell. But some parts of a person are not so easily seen. The part a person perches on, if you know what I mean. But with a pair of looking glasses, you can see just where your ass is. If it wasn't for the trousers in between. Yes, with a pair of looking glasses, you can see just where your ass is. If it wasn't for the trousers in between. Trousers in between.
Oh my God.
Very nice to see in over the months how. Sorry, I'm just pausing because I'm getting all this chatter from the about how many's muted. Anyway, it's been very nice to see with our shops in isolation how many spoken word items we've had, especially of course we always get those marvelous monologues from Raka. So here's a monologue from a more conventional source than our wonderful eccentric Raka. It's one of the Stanley Holloway monologues, and it takes place on the River Mersey near Runcorn Ferry. On the banks of the Mersey, over on Cheshire side, lies Runcorn, which is best known to fame by Transporter Bridge that takes folks across stream or else brings them back over same. In days before Transporter Bridge were put up, a ferry boat lay in the slip, and old Ted the boatman rowed folks across at per twopence, per person, per trip. Now Runcorn lay on one side of the stream, and witness on t'other side stood, and as nobody wanted to go neither place, the trade wasn't any too good. But one evening, to Ted's superlative surprise, 3 customers came into view. Mr. and Mrs. Rum's bottom it were, and Albert, their little son too. How much for the 3, said father, as his hand to his pocket did dip. Why, the same as it would be for one, replied Ted. 2pence per person per trip. You're not charging twopence for that little lad, said Mother, her eyes flashing wild. Twopence per person, per trip, answered Ted, per woman, per man, or per child. Now, 5 pence for 3 is the most that I'll pay, said Father. Don't waste time at talk. Twopence per person, per trip, answered Ted. And those that can't pay, has to walk. We can walk and all, said Mother. Come, Father, water's none so deep, weather's quite mild. So into the water the 3 of them stepped, the father, the mother, the child. The farther they paddled, the deeper it got, but they never give in once begun. In the spirit that's made Lancashire what she is, they'd sooner be drowned than done. Soon the old folks are right up to their necks. Little lad clean out of sight. Father says, where's Albert? And Mother replied, I've got hold of his hand, he's all right. 'Twas just at that moment Pa got an idea, and floundering back to old Ted, he said, we've walked halfway, come take us the rest for threepence, that's a penny a head. But old Ted weren't standing for none of that there, and making an obstinate lip. Per twopence, per person, per trip, answered Ted, per trip or per part or per trip. Well, let me take the boat, said Father. I'll pick up the others halfway, I'll row 'em across, I'll bring the boat back, and 3 pence in bargain I'll pay. Oh, 'twere money for nothing. Ted replied, righto. And Father took a load of the sculls, pointed sharp end of boat towards the middle of the stream, got there in a couple of pulls. He got Mother out first, 'twere rather a job. With the water, she weighed half a ton. Then, shoving his oar down the side of the boat, he started fishing around for his son. When poor little Albert came up to the top, his clothing was soggy and limp, and with holding his breath at the bottom so long, his face was as red as a shrimp. Pa rowed him across. He took the boat back, and he said to old Ted in the slip, we'll row me across. I replied Ted, at per twopence per person per trip. But when Pa got to t'other side, he laughed fit to bust. Well, he got best of the bargain, you see. He'd worked it all out. He got his own way, and he paid no but 5 pence for 3. And
Absolutely wonderful stuff, John. Do you have another one for us? Do you have another one for us, John?
No, I think that's enough for tonight. Thank you very much. No, and once again, thanks for all the lovely messages and flowers, etc.
Well, thank you, John. That was a masterful performance. Wonderful to hear you in full flow, and yeah, just great. So the time has come for the break, but obviously before the break, in the now time-honoured tradition, shall we unmute ourselves and sing happy birthday to John? And I'm sorry for the auditory horror that is about to ensue if you haven't experienced this before, but it's just what we do here, okay? So
Birthday to
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to
Lovely, thank you very, very much, everyone. Thank you.
Hooray!
Oh, lovely stuff. Yeah, that was. I think it gets worse every time.
I'm going to close down now and see if I can get rid of this bloody interference. Right.
Okay, well, with that, it is time for the break.
Stop recording.
We will have. I need to stop recording. Good point.
Excellent. I'm singing this one because it's one of my March songs, so it does have a reference to March in it. You just have to listen out for it. It has got a chorus, so you can join in at home. It's set in Cheshire, very spooky area round Alderley Edge. From Marley on a bright morning, on a snow-white purebred mare, a farmer rode unto Macclesfield for to sell her at the fair. Over Alderley Edge he took his path, where the day is endless night. But the mare did halt in a shroud of mist, for a man all clad in white. From Macclesfield to Moberly, if you have wares to sell, don't leave the path at the Wizard's Inn, or drink at the Wizard's Well. Well met, says the man as he stood in the path, won't you sell to me your mare? But the farmer replied, she's not for sale till I get to Macclesfield Fair. Well, you can stand all day at the fair, but no bidding you will hear. I'll await your return at this very same spot as the evening does draw near. From Macclesfield to Moberly, if you have wares to sell, don't leave the path at the Wizard's Inn, or drink at the Wizard's Well. Now this farmer, he was a puzzled man, as he rode into Macclesfield town, for admiring glances all that day could never fill his purse with crowns. So he returned a bitter man as the sun fell in the sky. And just as he had said that morn, this wizard did draw nigh. From Macclesfield to Moberly, if you have wares to sell, don't leave the path at the Wizard's Inn, or drink at the Wizard's Well. Now you must sell to me your mare for silver and bright gold. And he led the farmer and the mare down a path all dark and cold. And they passed through some iron gates and through a great rock wall. Like moles they went nigh double bend, till they came to the Sleepers' Hall. From Macclesfield to Moberly, if you have wares to sell, don't leave the path at the Wizard's Inn, or drink at the Wizard's Well. With fear this farmer white did gaze, and loudly he did moan at full-dressed knights, each with one mount, except for one alone. These are King Arthur's gallant knights, who wait on England's need. So fill your purse and leave the mare, and then leave the edge with speed. From Macclesfield to Moberly, if you have wares to sell, don't leave the path at the Wizard's Inn, or drink at the Wizard's Well. Though he left the edge a very rich man, his story has caused him pain, and those who would seek for the iron gates will search the edge in vain. But some do say that old Nell Beck, she did find the iron gates, but most say that she stricken was with the March hare as her maid. From Macclesfield to Moberly, if you have wares to sell, don't leave the path that the wizard's in, or drink at the wizard's well. Wizard of Alderley Edge.
Excellent.
Thanks for the word of warning, Kathy. And please, everyone, don't forget to put the names of your songs in the chat for everyone to see and for David to compile the list. So it is over now to Charles West and then one from Marty Stock.
Thank you, Amanda. It makes me feel really young to be at a 100-year-old birthday party, and that's a wonderful thing about music. So I'm learning to do these things at a rather late stage. I'm going to do an old blues that's been covered once or twice on this show before, called the St. James Infirmary. To old Joe's Barroom on the corner by the stair. The drinks they were served as usual, and the usual crowd was there. On my left stood Big Joe McKennedy, and his eyes was bloodshot red. I turned to the crowd around him, and these were the words that he said. I was down at the St. James Infirmary. I saw my baby there. She was lying on a long white table, so pale, so cold, so fair. Let her go, God bless her, wherever she may be. She can search this whole world over, never find a man as sweet as me. And when I die, please bury me in my high-top Stetson hat. Put a $20 gold piece on my watch chain, so the boys will know I died standing pat. Get 6 gamblers to carry my coffin, 6 chorus girls to sing me a song. Put a 20-piece jazz band on my tailgate, raise hell as we go along. That's the end of my story. Let's have another round of booze. If anyone should happen to ask you, say, I got the St. James Infirmary
blues. Wow.
Lovely one.
Nice one.
Thanks, Charles. Yes, we have heard that a few times from several people, and I'm glad to hear it from you as well. Great version. Okay, something now from Marty Stock, and then over to Marty?
How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I picked a song written by Yeats. It's called The Stolen Child. It has many images of springtime to me in County Sligo. Where dips the rocky highland of Sleuthwood in the lake, there lies a leafy island where flapping herons wake. The drowsy water rats, where we filled our fairy vats, full of berries and of reddest stolen cherries. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. Where the wave of moonlight glosses the dim grey sands with light, far off by farthest Rosses, we foot it through the night. Weaving olden dances, mingling hands and mingling glances, while the moon has taken flight. To and fro we leap and chase the frothy bubbles, while the world is full of troubles and is anxious in its sleep. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for our world's more full of weeping than you can understand. Where the wandering water gushes from the hills above Glencar, in pools among the rushes that scarce could bathe a star, we seek for slumbering trout, and whispering in their ears, give them unquiet dreams, leaning softly out from ferns that drop their tears over the young streams. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. Now away with us he's going, the solemn-eyed. He'll hear no more the lowing of the calves on the warm hillside, or the kettle on the hob sing peace unto his breast, or see the brown mice bob round and round the oatmeal chest. For he comes, the human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, from a world more full of weeping than he can understand. Where dips the rocky highland of Sleuthwood in the lake, there lies a leafy island where flapping herons wake. The drowsy water rats, where we filled our fairy vats, full of berries and of reddest stolen cherries. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Sheer poetry, Marty, which is what you would probably expect from Yeats. So, okay, over now to our very own bird of paradise, Sheila Miller. And Sheila will be followed by Bob Wakeling.
As I said yesterday, some of you were there, some of you weren't. I think I first met John when I joined the Lissenden Players in the late 80s. So I obviously knew him first through Music Hall, where he was a wonderful, as Barbara Keeley said yesterday at the party, the best chairman ever, as well as being a great performer of the songs.
Thank you.
So of course I'm going to do a Music Hall song. For some reason I'm doing one that I haven't sung for God knows how long, and I don't really know why I stopped singing this. However, this was sung on the halls by Vesta Victoria, one of my favourite singers of the period. Vesta and Gus really my faves. And I really ought to be wearing a short toga or a flimsy chiton or something, but it's really not. It's really not the season for that, which is pretty much what the song says. John knows what I'm going to sing, I bet. My old man is a very funny chap. He's an artist in the Royal Academy. He paints pictures from morning until night, paints them with his left hand, paints them with his right. All his pictures, take a tip from me, are very, very Eve and Adamy. And I'm the model who has to pose for his pictures every day. Oh, it's all right in the summertime, in the summertime, it's lovely. While my old man's painting hard, I'm posing in the old backyard. But oh, in the winter time, that's another thing, you know. With a little red nose and very little clothes, and the stormy winds do blow. One day I am Cupid with a dart, the other day a fairy beautiful. I can't remember this verse for some reason or other. Ooh. I pose as Venus rising from the sea, in the water but with the water to me knee. And he hangs me up upon the line, you know I have to be so dutiful. And as I hang, oh, he paints me as an angel in the sky. Oh, it's all right in the summertime, in the summertime, it's, that's not right, sorry. Oh, it's all, yes it is. Oh, it's all right in the summertime, in the summertime, it's lovely. While my old man's painting hard, I'm posing in the old backyard. But oh, in the winter time, it's another thing, you know. With a little red nose and very little clothes, and the stormy winds do blow. My old man, well, he plays a funny game, and I've only just begun to tumble it. All day long he's running out for paint, but the paint is whiskey, don't you think it ain't? These are all the clothes I've got to wear, but I've thought up a way to humble him. I'll take a walk down the west one day, dressed just as I am. Oh, it's all right in the summertime, in the summertime, it's lovely. While my old man's painting hard, I'm posing in the old backyard. But oh, in the winter time, it's another thing, you know. With a little red nose and very little clothes, and the stormy winds do blow.
No.
Right.
Super.
Lots of fun, Sheila. Great, thank you. Okay, it's over to Bob Wakeling now, and then something from Wendy, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I can.
Right. I thought I'd ring the changes a bit tonight and go to Australia. This is called The Cocky of Bungaree. A cocky is a small farmer. Come all you weary travelers, without a word just mine. You take a trip to Bungaree, and plenty there you'll I'm very sure you'll rue the day you first saw Bungaree. Well, how I come this way, I'll have years all to know. Being out of employment, I didn't know where to go, but I went to the register office, and there I did agree to take a job of clearing for a cookie in Bungaree. His homestead was of surface mud, his roof of mouldy thatch, the doors and the windows on bare nail, with never a bolt or a catch. The chickens walked over the table, such a sight you never did see. One laid an egg in the oaten plate on that cookie in Bungaree. Well, early the very next morning, it was the usual go. He's rattled the plate for breakfast before the sun did shine. The stars were shining glorious, and the moon was high to see. I thought before the sun would rise, I'd die in Bungaree. Oh, well, when I come in for me supper, it was just on 9:30. And when I had it, well, I reckoned it was me bedtime. But the cookie come over to me, and he said with a merry laugh, I want you now for an hour or two to cut and bitter chaff. So when I'd finished my supper, I to nurse the youngest child. Whenever I cracked a bit of a joke, the missus, she would smile. The old fella got jealous, looked like he'd murder me. And there he sat and whipped the cat, like cookie in Bungaree. So when I'd finished my first week's work, well, I reckon I'd had enough. I went up to that cookie and I asked him for my stuff. I rode down into Ballarat and it didn't take me long. I stepped straight into Sales Hotel and blued me £1. And now my job is over, and I'm at liberty. I'll never forget the day I met that cookie in Bungaree. Ian Banbury.
An atmospheric accompaniment to that song, Bob. Thank you. Okay, it is now time for Wendy and then something from David Diamond, please.
Well, I was going to say happy birthday, but the birthday boy seems to have disappeared. But still, happy birthday. I chose this song because the only other song I could think of to sing to John might have been Oh No John, No John, No, which didn't really seem very appropriate. So this is a Ewan MacColl song, which I hope John will enjoy. And it's kind of appropriate for a year of COVID, I think. The world that I knew, it has vanished and gone, leaving this forest of stone. And the faces are strange and altered, everything is changed. Here where I walk alone, unseen and unheard, I can walk through their world, hearing no voice but my own. There is no one to hear the voice of my hopes and my fears. Here where I walk alone. Companions I walked with and talked with are gone. Friends into strangers have grown. And my body has gone, deserted me, and left this other one. Now I must walk alone. Happier days, John. It's lovely to be here.
Brilliant.
Lovely, Wendy.
A reminder that Ewan could write very beautiful lyrical songs like that.
Yeah, you're right, John.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Lovely stuff, Wendy. Very haunting. Okay, it's now time for David Diamond and then something from Riggy.
Okay, I'm here, I hope. And I thought I'd do a recitation again. This dates from 1 year before John, 1919. There was a recording by Ted Williams, who was very famous at the time. And I was looking up before I said this, and he had a wonderful quote, which I thought I'd put in, if I can find it. Yes, here we are. So before I tell you what he said, W.C. Fields worked with him and said he was the funniest man I ever saw and the saddest man I ever knew. And Ted Williams himself said something that hit me very hard. I have never been able to discover that there was anything disgraceful in being a coloured man, but I've often found it inconvenient in America. Well, that's one way of saying it. Okay, and here is what he recorded in 1919, my best imitation. Great moments come to every man, some situation where he can attain such fame that folks acclaim the very mention of his name. The circus played our town one day. 2 Bengal tigers got away. The manager looked straight at me. Boy, here's your great opportunity. Somebody's got to get them cats. Yes, sir. Somebody's got to go. Now, the Tiger Man is very, very sick in bed. So just put on your hat and your coat. Now, the man who gets them cats and brings them back to me alive, oh, great hero he's going to be. That's a wonderful chance for somebody. Got to be somebody else, not me. 2 ivory bones with ebony dots oft times lead to the cemetery lots. Game last night brought on a fight. Which finished up with pistol shots. Now, I was furthest from the door. The others all got there before. And a brother on the floor lay dead. And through the transom, somebody said, somebody's got to stay behind. Yes, sir, somebody must remain. And to those police officers, when they arrive, just explain how come his brother ain't alive. The man who stays behind and sees this whole thing through, he's going to gain himself great notoriety. Yes, sir. That's a wonderful chance for somebody. Gotta be somebody else, not me. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
What was the name of the poet? What was the name of the poet?
Oh, the guy who delivered it was Ted Williams. He's very famous in his day. He came from Nassau and was very famous in America as
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, David. You're versatile. So good to hear that. Okay, it's Riggy now, and then something from Simon Prager, please.
At one point, I had an ambition to sing a song that mentioned fill a whole year full of songs about, November 26th or whatever. But I do have one about this today, and it's unfortunately not about John, but it certainly mentions a date near his birthday. On the 23rd of March, me boys, we hoisted our topsail, crying heaven above protect us with a sweet and a pleasant gale. We never were downhearted, nor let our courage fail, but bore away up to Greenland for to catch the Greenland whale, or to catch the Greenland whale. And when we came to Greenland, where the mountains flowed with snow, we tacked about all in the cold north, all amongst all the frost and snow. Our finger tops were frozen off, and likewise our toenails, as we crawled on the decks, me boys, looking out for Greenland whales, looking out for the Greenland whale. And when we come to the Davis Straits,
where the bitter winds do blow. We tacked about all in the north till we heard the whalefish blow. And when we catch this whale, brave boys, it's homeward we will steer. We'll make the valleys ring, me boys, a drinking of strong beer. We'll make them lofty alehouses in London town to roar. And when our money is all gone, to Greenland go for more, brave boys, to Greenland go for more. 23rd of March.
Aye, not bad.
Okay. And the award for calendrical consistency goes to Riggy Rackin this evening. Well done, Riggy. Okay, Simon Prager now, and then something from Sarah Pavey.
Okay, this is shortish, I think. Yesterday, I should say, at John's birthday do, I did St. Louis Blues, which was the first song he requested from me a few years ago when I first met him. And I remembered that I didn't learn that song from Bessie Smith, although that's where I'd go to listen to it. I learnt it from Danny Kaye. And I wonder if John will remember this, but my family had a 78 of Danny Kaye singing St. Louis Blues, and we had a wind-up record player, and I think I probably heard it when I was 8, and I realised yesterday that I actually heard my first ragtime piece as well, which was on the B-side of the same record. And this was it. I don't know if you remember it, John. First you put your two knees close up tight, you swing them to the left and you swing them to the right, step around the floor kind of nice and bright, and then you twist around with all of your might, spread your loving arms around in space, you do the eagle rock with such style and grace, you put your left foot out and then you bring it back. That's what I call balling the jack.
Oh, yeah.
This is double time to save time, see? Let somebody else come on.
Yeah.
First you put your two knees close up tight, you swing them to the left and you swing them to the right, step around the floor kind of nice and light, and then you twist around with all of your might, spread your loving arms way out in space, you do the eagle rock with such style and grace, you put your left foot out and then you bring it back. That's what I call balling the jack. That's what I call balling the jack.
Well then, that's much earlier than one would think, isn't it?
It was when I
Yay!
Yay! Great, yeah.
Good stuff.
Love it. I'm telling you, one more to do it.
Wonderful.
We're about 25 or thereabout.
Done with style and grace, including the hat, Simon.
Nah.
Okay, it's time for Sarah Pavey now, and then something from Christopher Evans.
Okay, well, I'm going to do a joining in one, and this one's specially for John on his birthday, because I remember John in the early 1980s down at Croydon Folk Club.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And I remember seeing you then and being absolutely amazed at your...
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Here's my tribute in music hall, especially for you, John. And everybody, you need to make sure that you've got something that you can wave. So that you can join in. So you can have anything you like, but we're going to wave at John.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Here we go. I am a girl who's just come over from the country where they do things big. And amongst all the boys, well, I've got a lover. And since I've got a lover, well, I don't give a thing. The boy I love is up in the gallery. The boy I love is looking down at me. There he is, can't you see, waving off his handkerchief, as merry as the robin that sits in a tree. The boy I love, they call him a cobbler, but he's not a cobbler, allow me to state. My Johnny's a tradesman, he works in the borough, where they soul and heal them while you wait. The boy I love is up in the gallery. The boy I love is looking down at me. There he is, can't you see, waving off his handkerchief, as merry as the robin that sits in a tree. If I were a duchess and had a lot of money, I'd give it to the boy who's going to marry me. But I haven't got a penny, so we'll live on love and kisses, and we'll be as merry as the birds in a tree. The boy I love is up in the gallery. The boy I love is looking down at me. There he is, can't you see, waving off his handkerchief, as merry as the robin that sits in a tree. The boy I love is up in the gallery. The boy I love is looking down at me. There he is, can't you see, waving off his handkerchief, as merry as the robin that sits in a tree. Happy birthday, John.
Nice one, Sarah. Hi, folks.
Hey,
See you
wait,
next time.
Sarah.
She first sang it when she was 16 years old.
Yay.
The music hall attached to the Eagle Tavern, City Road.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect choice for the occasion, Sarah. Thank you. Okay, it's over to Chris Evans now, and then something from Ray McLaughlin, please.
Hello, evening everyone. Happy birthday, John. This song. I'm going to change hats for this one. This song is much younger than you. From 1922.
Oh, well then.
And it was sung by Harry Champion.
Oh, well
It's
then.
called Everybody Knows Me in My Old Brown Hat.
Oh, lovely. It's a good old one.
So I shall get an F in F. Where I live, the neighbours are a nice bunch, especially when I'm out of doors. They all treat me with great respect, but they never say what's yours. If I go in a public house, they say, look out, he's here. They grab their jugs and pint pots shouting, danger, mind your beer. 'Cause everybody knows me old brown hat that I wear upon me pimple. It only costs me a tenner down the cut, but it looks all right on me little wooden nut. Oh, I say, oh, what do you think of that? If I can't get what I ordered in the pot, I'll have it in me old brown hat. One day, all gay, I was at the races, having such a rare old spree. Well, I put me best behaviour on when the king stood close to me, and the old girl got excited when the crowd begun to cheer. What's up, says she. Good Lord, says I. Well, don't you know, my dear, that everybody knows me old brown hat that I wear upon me pimple. It only costs me a tanner down the cut, but it looks all right on me little wooden nut. Oh, I say, oh, what do you think of that? Well, I said to the king, it's a very funny thing, but they know me and me old brown hats. Last year, oh dear, down beside the seaside, everybody laughed at me, and they crowded on the promenade when I stepped into the sea. A policeman said, your bathing suit is much too small, my friend. I said, just tell the ladies here to watch the other end, 'cause everybody knows me old brown hat that I wear upon me pimple. It only costs me a tanner down the cut, but it looks all right on me little wooden nut. Oh, I say, oh, what do you think of that? When I go to the sea and the ladies look at me, they'll be looking at me old brown hats. Oh, Lord, shan't forget, on me wedding morning I took an hour off from work. I went to church and I looked as gay as an undertaker's clerk. The parson said, the funeral takes place this afternoon. I said, don't bury me until I've had me honeymoon, 'cause everybody knows me old brown hat that I wear upon me pimple. It only costs me a tanner down the cut, but it looks all right on me little wooden nut. Oh, I say, oh, what do you think of that? When you go to bed at night, you'll see a funny sight. You'll be looking at me old brown hat. Everybody knows me old brown hat that I wear upon me pimple. It only costs me a tenner the cut, but it looks right on me little wooden nut. Oh, I say, what do you think of that? When you go to bed at night, you'll see a funny sight. You'll be looking at me old brown hat. Brown hat.
Well done, lovely.
I'm done at Harry Champion speed at the end.
And how nice that he mentions the cut, which is still a lovely street market.
I'm afraid it's not anymore, John. It's
Oh,
a
really?
bit. It's gone a bit upmarket.
Oh, like
but the,
it all, like
but
all
the
the
old
markets.
Vic is still there.
Oh, well then.
Okay, brilliant stuff. We're well into the music hall scene now, so let's see what Ray has for us. And after Ray, something from Alan Scott, please.
Hello, thanks, Amanda. I was in two minds what to sing tonight. The particular impression that John made on me, and it's probably about 12 or 13 years ago, I came across him first, possibly at some session around Sidmouth or whatever, was not, but definitely the how radical he was and how anti-establishment he was. And obviously, most people are referring to his music hall songs, but I think the first song I ever heard him singing was Hanging on the Old Barbed Wire. And then obviously stuff like that on a general point. I think I'll probably sing a more serious song. It's Simon sang a Brendan Behan song last week. So this is Brendan Behan's very irreverent, satirical song about people who hold on to the idea of empire. So hopefully maybe not too serious for the night, but we give it a go anyway.
Yeah, lovely.
I remember in September when the final stumps were drawn, and the shouts of crowds now silent, when the boys to tea had gone. Let us, O Lord above us, remember simple things, when all are dead who love us, oh, the captains and the kings. when all are dead who love us, oh, the captains and the kings. We have many goods for export, Christian ethics and old port. But our greatest boast is that the Anglo-Saxon is a sport. When the darts game it is finished, and the boys their game of rings, and the draughts and chess relinquished for the captains and the kings, and the draughts and chess relinquished for the captains and the kings. Far away in dear old Cyprus, or in Kenya's dusty land, where we bear the white man's burden, in many's the strange land. As we look across our shoulders, in West Belfast the school bell rings, and we sigh for dear old England, and the captains and the kings. And we sigh for dear old England, and the captains and the kings. In our dreams we see old Harrow, and we hear the crow's loud caw. At the flower show our big Marrow takes the prize from Evelyn Waugh. Cups of tea and some dry sherry, vintage cars, these simple things. So let's drink up and be merry for the captains and the kings. So let's drink up and be merry for the captains and the kings. I stumbled in a nightmare all around Great Windsor Park. Now what do you think I found there as I wandered in the dark? 'Twas an apple half bitten, but sweetest of all things. 5 baby teeth had written of the captains and the kings. 5 baby teeth had written of the captains and the kings. By the moon that shines above us in the misty morning night, let us cease to run ourselves down and praise God that we are white. And better still, we're English, tea and toast and muffin rings, old ladies with stern faces, and the captains and the kings. Old ladies with stern faces, and the captains and the kings. Thank you.
Thanks, Ray. It's time now for someone we've not seen for a while, Alan Scott, and then someone we haven't seen for even longer in the form of Carol Anderson. So over to you, Alan.
Hi, well, happy birthday, John. Coincidentally, you mentioned this song earlier. So here's from a Kipper family, my favourite springtime song.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, the springtime, it is coming, and the girls are all a-dither. 'Tis the wild mounting time, and I am wondering whether do you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together at the wild mounting time. Or will I get blooming heather? Do you go, lassie, go? Well, my love is like a swan, with the lightness of a feather, but her friend is like a goose, and they call her blooming heather. Do you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together at the wild mounting time? Or will I get blooming heather? Do you go, lassie, go? Well, I'll build my love a mower and cut down that blooming heather. Then at the wild mounting time, my love will be mine forever. Do you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together at the wild mounting time. Or will I get blooming heather? Do you go, lassie, go? Well, if my true love she won't go, then I surely will not bother. For at the wild mounting time, I could even fancy heather. Do you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together at the wild mounting time. Or will I get blooming heather? Do you go, lassie, go? Happy birthday, John.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Nice reminder. They were a witty pair, weren't they?
They were.
They were.
One of them still is.
Is he still going out?
Well,
solo?
he's not. Sid isn't performing any longer, but he still writes stuff, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, well, all about Trunch, eh?
Yeah.
Nothing like a good pun. We like puns in this club, Alan, so good choice. Okay. Welcome back to Carol Anderson. And after Carol, could we have something from Pal Carter, please?
Thanks, Amanda.
There she is.
Hi,
Hello,
John.
Carol. Lovely to see you, my darling.
Lovely to see you too. Sorry I missed you yesterday. I was just being an idiot. Sorry. Anyway,
never let
here's a set of tunes for you. I was trying to think what to play, and then I decided to just play some lively tunes because you are definitely the liveliest 101-year-old I've ever met. So it seemed appropriate. I loved your singing earlier on. It was great. Thank you so much. Anyway, here's a heap of jigs. Kenny Gillis of Porting Along, Paddy's Leather Breeches, and Rory McLeod.
done, Carol. Well done, love.
Yeah.
Carol, well done.
Fabulous, Carol. Can you come again? Like not once every 6 months, maybe just once a week or something? That would
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to try harder. Sorry.
Yeah, please
I
do.
feel like I'm in trouble now. Don't stand in the corner.
Yeah, no, great to hear that. Okay.
Cheers.
Next we have Pal Carter. After Pal we have Rory Grieg. As I said in the chat, we are no way going to get everybody on tonight, but John, I hope you're up for staying up a little bit after 11, because I would like to get a few extra people on since it's a special occasion.
Yeah.
And but we won't go on too late. So Pal, it's you next, and then Rory.
Oh, Carol, that was brilliant. I have had to ferret around for a song that doesn't end in death or heartbreak, because I really don't want to sing something like that to John. Happy birthday, John. This one's got a happy ending.
Oh, thank you, thank you, pal.
Here's a letter to you, madam. Here's a letter to you, madam. Here's a letter from the Earl of the Wings to be a suitor to you, madam. Say not so to me, Richie. Say not so to me, Richie. For I've made a vow and I'll keep it true, to marry none but you, Richie. Say not so to me, madam. Say not so to me, madam. For I have neither land nor rents, for to maintain you with, madam. Now I am going away, madam. I am going away, madam. I'm going away to London town. My friends, they long to see me, madam. Then I will come with you, Richie. I will come with you, Richie. I'll leave my castle and my lands. I'm coming away with you, Richie. As they rode down through London town, all the bells were ringing bonny, and many a knight and many a squire stood there to welcome Richie's lady. For since it's so, I love you, madam. Since it's so, I love you, madam. I left the sceptre and the throne, and was your serving man, madam. And was your serving man, madam. Made all your bridals ring, madam. But little did you know that your serving man was England's royal king, madam. And since it's so, you love me, madam. Since it's so, I love you, madam. You shall be queen of all England, and happy shall you be, madam. That's it. Lovely.
absolutely beautiful.
I think that said it all, really. Thanks, pal. Lovely to hear a cheerful song, and yet with a kind of soulful tune. Thank you. Okay, it's over to Rory Grieg now, and then something from Chris Lamb.
Okay, happy birthday, John. Amazing to think that you were a teenager when this was written in the early 1930s. Now Mary Green loves me and I love her too. We blush when we meet like all true lovers do. Behind the plantation where green meadows run, we fool in the dark and we have lots of fun. Down in the fields where the buttercups all grow, my Mary, she thought I was bashful and slow. But she changed her mind when I let myself go. Down in the fields where the buttercups all grow. The songsters were greeting the day newly born, the sheep in the meadow, the cows in the corn. But when sheep and cows have been there a bit, it's not a nice place for a lady to sit. Down in the fields where the buttercups all grow, she climbed a stile and said, "Turn your head, Joe." My neck was so stiff that we let ourselves go. Down in the fields where the buttercups all grow. We walked hand in hand through the long winding grass, and the rhubarb grew sideways to let us go past. We stood neath the trees while the birds up above were all busy dropping their tokens of love. Down in the fields where the buttercups grow, a cow licking Mary's face tickled her so. She thought it was me and said, "Don't slobber, Joe." Down in the fields where the buttercups all grow. We stood hand in hand behind a haystack when a bumblebee flew down the small of her back. Me being right beside her and seeing her distress, I put my right hand down the back of her dress. Down in the fields where the buttercups all grow, my hand down her dress when she struck me a blow. I'd no idea that bee was so far below. Down in the fields where the buttercups all grow. A 10-gallon drum on the top of a hill came rolling down sideways, my heart it stood still. But Mary stood bravely stout-hearted and true. Her legs were so bent that the barrel went through. Down in the fields where the buttercups all grow, our courtship was fast, but our honeymoon slow. The bed was so small that we both had to go. Down in the fields where the buttercups all grow. Happy birthday.
Nice one, Rory. Excellent. This one.
I think I'm going to get on.
Lots of fun, Rory. Thank you. Okay, so now over to Chris Lamb, who seems to have turned into a beef eater. And after Chris, something from Sid Madicott, please.
Okay, the tune for this song started as a music hall song written by Harry Clifton, but it got used by a Geordie songwriter, Geordie Ridley, and despite the fact that I shouldn't really be singing songs or attempting a Geordie accent, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm a broken-hearted keel man, and I'm o'erheat in love with a young lass from Gateshead, and I calls her me dove. Her name's Cushy Butterfield, and she sells yellow clay, and her cousin is a muckman, and they call him Tom Gray. She's a big lass and a bonny lass, and she likes her beer, and they call her 'cause she Butterfield, and I wish she was here. Her eyes are like two holes in a blanket burned through, and her brows in the morning would spy in a young coo. And when I hear her shooting, will you buy honey clay? Like a candy man's trumpet, it steals me young heart away. She's a big lass and a bonny lass, and she likes her beer, and they call her 'cause she Butterfield, and I wish she was here. You'll have to see her down at Sandgate when the fish herring comes in. She's like a bag full of sawdust tied round with a string. She wears big galoshes too, and her stockings once was white, and her bed gown is lilac, and her hat's never straight. She's a big lass and a bonny lass, and she likes her beer, and they call her 'cause she Butterfield, and I wish she was here. When I asked her to marry me, she started to laugh. None of your monkey tricks, for I like they such chaff. Then she started bubbling, and she roared like a bull, and the chapsy the keel says I'm out but the fuel. She's a big lass and a bonny lass, and she likes her beer, and they call her 'cause she Butterfield, and I wish she was here. She says the chap that gets me, he'll have to work every day, and when he comes here at night, he'll have to go to seek clay, and when he's away seeking it, I'll make balls and sing, oh, we'll may the keel row that my laddie's in. She's a big lass and a bonny lass, and she likes her beer, and they call her 'cause she Butterfield, and I wish she was here.
Banging.
Wonderful.
Not a controversy. It's the same, and they both emerged almost exactly at the same time. And they reckon it wasn't copied. It was just an extraordinary coincidence. It's a lovely song.
Right, John, I didn't know that.
Thanks for that, John, and for the song, Chris. I will leave others to comment on the accent, but done with the spirit. Okay, welcome now to Sid Madicott, who is here in Sharp's isolation for the first time. So looking forward to hear you sing, Sid. And after Sid, something from Kate Portal.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks, Amanda. I'm going to sing, I think, the song that John probably first heard me sing when I came to Sharp's. I was back in England after 4 years in Canada and started coming to Sharp's in 2000. And I always made it a policy going into a new club to sing a sea shanty, because if you bugger it up, the audience has to take half the blame. So this is the song I sang then. After I sang it, Clive Wolfe said, "Ooh, a proper singer." I'm not sure that was an unalloyed compliment.
Well, what a compliment. Lovely.
Anyway. Oh, Shannon, I long to hear you. Away, you rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you. Away, I'm bound to go. Cross the wide Missouri. Oh, Shenandoah, I love your daughter. Away, you rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I love your daughter. Away, I'm bound to go. Cross the wide Missouri. Oh, Shenandoah, I took a notion. Away, you rolling river, to sail upon the stormy ocean. Away, I'm bound to go. across the wide Missouri. 'Tis 7 long years since last I see thee, away, rolling river. 'Tis 7 long years since last I see thee, away I'm bound to go, across the wide Missouri. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you, away, rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you, away I'm bound to go, across the wide Missouri. Happy birthday, John.
Send it.
Well, sunset.
Well, I hope we won't be too long before we're back at Sharps and can all join you in the chorus.
Yeah.
Oh, let's.
I think that was the first song I heard you sing at Sharps, Sid. So good to have that reminder. And welcome and hope you come again. Okay, it's now over to Kate Portal. We would normally be finishing at this time. We'll go on a little later. I've got a few singers I'm going to call before about 1:15. But as I said, not everyone will get on this evening. So please come again and you'll get on then. Okay, it's Kate and then something from Marianne. Are you still with us, Kate? Oh, I think we've lost Kate.
Oh dear.
That's a shame.
Oh.
She was here until very recently, so I don't see her name on the list anymore. That's a shame. So it's not Kate. It's hopefully it's Marianne right away. And after Marianne, it will be something from Declan Coyne.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do a jolly Napoleon one. You know how jolly he was. Because I haven't got any musical songs. Right. Too long I've been weeping where edges are draping the strength of my cellar, a clear mountain stream. One night in deep slumber as I lay a-sleeping, Napoleon appeared unto me in a dream, saying, "Arise up, my friends, from the clouds of destruction, that Erin's laid under this many's a long year. For religion you've suffered such great pain and scorn, but now for the future, brave boys, do not fear. On the shore we will stand where Napoleon will land, for he is the hero we hope will be seen. And the bells of the chapel will resound a ditty to welcome Napoleon to Erin the Green. O'er hills and deep valleys, o'er mountains and alleys, the bells of the abbey so loudly did peal. The third wave will thunder as we stand in wonder and long for a hero like Onro O'Neill. For if he was alive, he would welcome Napoleon, and these are the words I am sure he would say. Oh, it's Kate Mille-Falche, my friends, you are welcome to raise up the faith that will never decay. On the shore we will stand where Napoleon will land, for he is the hero we hope will be seen. And the bells of the chapel will resound a ditty to welcome Napoleon to Erin the Green. Well, we fought well at Antrim and likewise at Gorey, we waited in vain for the French to arrive. But Boney set sail with his armies for Egypt, and never a thought for the croppies he gave. But if he should still come, we'll be here for to greet him, and all will be ready to join his command. And we'll march out like heroes with green banners flying, and Napoleon himself will be there in the van. On the shore we will stand where Napoleon will land, for he is the hero we hope will be seen. And the bells of the chapel will resound a ditty to welcome Napoleon to Erin the Green. Roudly-idle-dum diddly-dum dowdly-idle-do-dowdly-dum dowdly-do. Roudly-idle-dum diddly-dum dowdly-idle-dum da-rum-da. Dowdly-ow-idle-do-roudle-dum dowdly-idle-do-roudle-dum doodly dowdly-ow-idle-do-doodle-dum doodly-da dowdly-idle-dum doodly-idle-do-do. Sinead.
Beautifully sung.
Absolutely lovely.
Lovely.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so it's Declan Coyne. I see that Kate is back, so Kate, I don't know if you dropped out, but I hope you'll be able to sing after Declan, and then could we have Dave Clare to finish the evening? So over to you, Declan. Except I don't think we've got Declan now. So okay, in that case, confused. Okay, I said it would be Kate after Declan, so that means it's Kate now, hopefully. Kate, are you ready to go? Kate, I can see you. I can't hear you. You'll be wanting to unmute.
How's that? Any better?
Yeah, got you now.
Battery run out.
Yeah, we're now back. Well, John, I think the first time I ever spoke to you was when I phoned up Cecil Sharp House for directions to it. And I was given the most detailed directions, which were really, really helpful. And hence my involvement in the, general kind of folky things. And of course, so often you used to drive Al and I back home after Sharps.
Yeah, true enough, yeah.
So here's a little song. My nod to the virus is that this song, to different words, probably to about 101 verses, went viral on YouTube. And I've made up some other words to it. And the chorus, the chorus that people can sing along to is, John, you're 101. We hope this party is really good fun. As a chorus singer, life is never done. Keep on singing those songs. Now, I hope I remember the words. That's the challenge. There's so much repertoire that you know. When you sing or recite, it's always a good show. But you haven't lost your get up and go. Just keep on singing those songs. 101. We hope you think this party's fun. The singers is never done, because you keep on singing these songs. What's the next one? Oh dear, I'm in such a flap now. The next one is all about. Oh yes. Sometimes when your name they call, you sing songs from the music hall, and it don't half amuse us all, because you keep on singing those songs. 101, and we hope you find this party such fun. And it's never done, so if you keep on singing these songs. When Stanley Holloway's monologues you tell, you put the audience under a spell, because you do them so very well, and you keep on singing those songs. One, we hope you find this party fun. The singers is never done, but you keep on singing those songs. Well, socialism's in control when you sing those songs by Ewan McCall, because they're all so good for the soul. Oh, you keep on singing those songs. 101. We hope you find this party oh such fun. The singer's life is never done, because you keep on singing those songs. You're always prepared to spare a thought to anyone of every sort. You lend a hand and you give support, because you keep on singing those songs. And one, we hope you find this party fun. A singer's life is never done, because you keep on singing those songs. We all used to pile into the car, and you take us anywhere near and far, to Waterloo on the Octo Tar, and you keep on singing those songs.
Oh, okay.
You can, we hope you find this party fun. A singer's life is never done, because you keep on singing those songs. Well, I think this better be the last verse, or else it'll get just worse and worse. And I haven't, because I didn't leave much time to rehearse, but you keep on singing those songs.
Katie, that was lovely. Thank you very much indeed.
This party fun. The singer's life is never done, and so keep on singing those songs. Happy birthday, John.
Thank you, Kate, darling. That's so nice of you. Right. Thank you, Al, for your help as well.
Well done, Kate.
Second song written special.
For everybody's darling, Kate.
Fabulous, Kate. I am so so pleased you came back, because
Yes,
that had to be
indeed.
sung tonight.
Right.
So we have one more singer this evening. That singer is Dave Clare. I don't know what he's got for us, but looking forward to it. Looking forward to hearing all the people who didn't sing this evening another time. Yeah, thank you for making this evening what it was, everyone. No thanks to COVID, but thanks to Sharps in Isolation. Thanks to Fun, thanks to David on the singers list. Thanks to John for his fantastic spot, and for being 101. What an event to celebrate. Happy birthday, John, and take it away, David.
And thanks to you, Amanda, as well, love. You had a difficult job tonight, everybody to fit in. So well done, love. It keeps us all in order.
Here.
Thank you.
Despite John giving us Scousers a really hard time, and I know that he has been known to, in musical terms, to wander north of Watford. So not to create any stereotypes or anything.
No.
I've just put my whippet out back. And this is a song, John, from I know you're a great lover of this group from the Oldham Tinkers.
Oh yes.
Yeah. It needs no, we can't really do this, but we actually need a bit of brass involved here.
Oh.
But all I've got is the brass neck. Talk about your ragtime brass band, yeah, band, and your cigar bands. We've got a band that's holding sway. It's a band down our way. Talk about your ragtime trombone, your wishbones and your fishbones. When you've all done playing, you can hold your breath, 'cause we've got the other fellas skinned to death, and I've skinned them all myself. ragtime band. Oh, oh, John Willie's ragtime band. See us when we play on Wigan Pier. The mill girls all gather round and cheer, and the colliers all shout, here, here, itchy coo, itchy coo, itchy coo. Oh, we dress just like the horse guards blue. We've won gold cups and saucers too. In Bury now, they do it grand. They can leap up and down with black puddings in their hand when they sing John Willie's ragtime band. Itchy coo, itchy coo, itchy coo. Oh, John Willie's ragtime band. What's a moment when we put up away? Oh, oh, John Willie's ragtime band. What a sway, well the people fade away. See us when we sing on Wigan Pier. The mill girls all gather round and cheer, and the colliers all shout, by gum, here, here, itchy coo, mind me beer. Oh, we dress just like the horse guards blue, leather togs and a pair of nobbies clogs. We've won gold cups and saucers too, no mistake, we're the lads to take the cake. In Bolton now, they know a lot. They the cow wheel in their hand, they can do the turkey trot. And when we sing John Willie's breast time ragtime band, itchy coo, zim.
Oh, well done. I'd like to know that.
I'm struggling to remember that, John.
I hope you paid your musicians that helped you out this evening. Great end to the evening, Dave. What happened? A marvelous evening.
Lovely to see you, John.
And thank you, everybody, for the marvelous, wonderful.
Thanks, John.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John.
Bye, John. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Bye, John. Thank you all.